Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Friday Night Comics where I barely competently sort of uh, talk and ramble about comic books. How you guys doing? I see Becca, Ryan, Della, Baby Dell, Shady. How you guys all doing? Another exciting day in the neighborhood, isn't it? Well, let's get right into it. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover today because a lot happened in comics, and it's all very, very exciting. So first, let's go over the comics coming out next week because it looks like a pretty light week. All right. I hate that. Woo. Okay, that's better. All right, so we're on Previews World for next week, March 31st. And there's your usual Image garbage. I don't know about this Decorum, but crossover is pretty not my thing. Same with Department of Truth. Thought it was kind of boring. Noctera, new cover, second printing. They did a glow in the dark one apparently, and I missed that. If I'd known they were doing that, I would have waited and bought it because I like gimmicks. Because I'm a sucker for that, especially because it was regular price. I'm not paying extra for it, but if you want to give me a free gimmick, I'm cool with that. All right, mouse. All right, Spawn. I heard is getting better. They're launching the new Spawn universe in a couple months. I think I'll wait till then to check any of it out. I have no idea what's going on in the new storyline. Two Moons, I've heard okay things about, but not really willing to try out another new book. Image burns you too many times. So nothing really there that I'm going to get. So my list was pretty short this week. Dark Horse. This Black Ghost has a cool title, but it's not going to be Ghost from the 90s, which would have been awesome. Instead, it's a bunch of try-hard SJW type stuff. This was such a waste of money. Oh my gosh. Such a waste. Trial of the Wizard King. Cool title, but probably not going to get it. The Ojimbo stuff I would totally buy, but it's $25. But it's pretty good stuff. Witcher is supposed to be pretty good, but I didn't get in on it, and I'll wait till it hits the dollar box. Oh, thanks, Piccolo. Appreciate it. Oh, I want to thank Anon123 for the donation when I was off air. So that was really cool. Thank you. Young Hellboy, I don't like the art on it. Otherwise, it's probably okay. So nothing from Dark Horse again. IDW, which usually is pretty solid. The My Little Pony Transformers Friendship in Disguise trade paperback. I've got the miniseries. If I didn't already have the single issues, I'd probably buy it in trade. Because it's pretty goofy. Sea of Sorrows, that's a cool cover, but I might wait for the trade on that one. I am picking up Transformers and Usagi, of course, because this series is fantastic. Transformers, I'm really far behind on, but I'll keep picking it up for a little while longer. I'm going to give it till issue 30, and if I'm not caught up by then, I'm done. Last Ronin, I picked up the first printing, but I haven't read it yet. It's sort of the Dark Knight Returns for the Turtles, and it looked pretty good, actually. So just two from IDW, Transformers and Usagi. Marvel, how far you've fallen. Avengers Academy is terrible. Avengers Curse of Man-Thing is going to be garbage. The art looks kind of lazy, too. Man-Thing looks okay, but everything else I've seen from it looks trash. Beta Ray Bill could be cool, but Modern Marvel, not willing to take that chance, especially at $5. Black Cat, nope, garbage. Captain America still has Ta-Nehisi Coates for 2 more issues after this one, so that's a no. Ghost Rider King of Black tie-in, not bothering. It's a waste of money. It's a one-shot. Valkyries, nope. Shang-Chi trade, not going to happen. Silk, I don't care about at all. That's just a diversity hire Peter Parker, as far as I can tell. High Republic, yeah, that first issue was such trash. Now they're trying to sell me a third print on number 2 and a second print on number 3. I don't think so. Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black, I am going to pick up because the Symbiote Spider-Mans have been pretty good. The Union, that's trash, sadly. That cover of Union Jack's not bad, though. U.S. Agent is such a disappointment. That could have been a good miniseries, especially with Falcon and Winter Soldier being out, and this is character from that. He's been around since the early 90s, so it would have been nice if they had done a good miniseries, but it's just more lazy trash, which Priest has really gone downhill on his quality. He's not even trying anymore. Welcome back, Ryan. X-Men Legends, I am going to pick that up. I like the first issue, so I'll probably pick that one up. Actually, I absolutely will, because I already ordered it. So that was it for Marvel. 2 books from there. Next, we're on to Dynamite. Red Sonja's Superpowers, special editions. I don't care about these. Waste of $50 as far as I'm concerned. Or 90 in this case. I did pick this up. I do have this cover. The review should be out eventually when my personal life stops being a complete disaster. I'm going to have videos coming out later tonight, though. The Patreon video is going up, and so is Children of the Atom will be public. So those will finally be up. Sorry about the delay on all that. Personal life's being personal life, you know. Boom Studios. Firefly is Firefly. If you like the show, you might like the comic. I'm probably going to pick up this Power Rangers Unlimited. My comic shop guy said he'd give me a discount on it because I've been buying the regular miniseries. Oh, thank you, Super Art. Hey, Sir Adamantine. Hey, Viking. I'm glad I made it. Believe me, it was a bit of a struggle. So, yeah, just Power Rangers from Boom. DC, I didn't pull up because they didn't have much of a selection, but I'm going to pick up the issue of Flash. That seems like it's the start of a new storyline. Let me open that up. This Green Arrowed Emerald Archer book looked kind of cool, but I'm not that into Green Arrow. I think Quiz would probably love it, though. Justice League Odyssey, Volume 4, I don't care about. The one issue I read of Justice League Dark really turned me off of all the Justice League side issues, so I didn't care. This Batman's Grave looked pretty good, because I like the series overall. The ending was kind of weak, but I thought it was pretty good. I would probably buy that, but I already bought the single issues, so that's not going to happen. But this issue looks like it might be interesting. They're talking about retiring Wally West. And quite frankly, that's almost a better fate than what they've been doing to the poor guy. So they've really ruined that character pretty heavily. So I could see them retiring him just because they don't seem to actually like him over at DC. And they've treated him like garbage for 10 years now. This garbage fest. DC's pumping out so much garbage now. It's sad how much trash they are just shitting out. All these Future State books have been, at best, mediocre. At worst, they are some of the most awful trash that I've read in ages, with the exception of one book, which be an upcoming review. Yeah, that's true, Ryan. That's very true. Hey, awesome, Dangerous. Glad you could join us. Hope you win at your game. But yeah, Future State they're really heading in this direction. This is just covert 5G. The 5G storyline was they're going to replace the main heroes with these up-and-comers, and they've been slowly working those storylines into the regular books, so we can look forward to that. Plus, they're raising their price at DC to $5 for some of the main titles, like the Batmans and Supermans, Justice League are all going to be $5. Doesn't appear to be any change in the paper quality either. Oh yeah, Constantine's pretty old now. It's been a few decades. Then we get into the small press stuff. And quite frankly, there wasn't much here either that really sold me. Biden's Titans is a knockoff of Trump's Titans, or something like that, which is, of course, this is the X-Men cover from Giant Size X-Men #1. And it's just Joe Biden propaganda. The Trump ones were jokes. These will be fluff pieces because Keen Spot's kind of lefty. At least as far as I can tell. Bite-sized. Anything by writers, artists, and artisans that you see that looks like it might be interesting, just wait till the miniseries is over and buy the trade for half the price. Because all their trades are about $10. This Coraptor, it says one shot and then it's issue number 3. Is it a one shot or is it issue 3? That makes no sense. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, Dangerous. The SJWs have infiltrated comics way more than they ever did before. So it's not just like left-leaning politics. Now it's straight up chick tracks and blowjobs for the correct people with politics. So this Courier looked interesting, but it's already on issue 3. So I might have to wait on that one and try and track it down later. It's a Zenoscope book, so it's probably pretty good. Crossed is always in reprints, and it's not that good. That's one of the most overrated garbage fires I've ever seen. This Cult of Dracula had a cool title, but when you read the description, it sounds kind of boring. So I'm kind of on the fence. Source Point's always late with their stuff, too. So any of the comic shops around me, please don't order it, they say, because it's never coming in on time. Oh, no, Becca, that would be way too nice. That'd be too convenient and probably too entertaining. Destiny, it's going to be garbage because it's Black Mask. They occasionally have talented people in there, but it's always very political stuff. And then you get signed crap. Dogman, which is real popular with the kids. That's huge. Some Catgirl, I'm sure somebody will buy that. Well, yeah, Fat, the graphic novel. I forget who it was. I think Nurkish did a take on that. That was hilarious. I don't know if it's still on the internet or not, but that was outstanding. Yeah, Becca, whenever you think that it could make it really cool, if it's one of the political companies, it's not going to be. It's going to be garbage. New Goblin Slayer coming out, I think. I think that's new. Side Story 2. Grim Fairy Tales, if you like fairy tale stuff, it's got sexy cheesecake chicks, occasional boobies. Then a bunch of crap I don't care about. Some mangas. Kaiju Girl, I don't know what that is, but it sounds stupid. Oh, late for my stream. Lady Death, I would probably pick that up, but I'm trying to cut back on some of my spending, and it just doesn't hook me like it does a lot of people. It's not badly written or anything. It's fairly good. It's just $5 that I'm not going to spend. Yeah, Viking. It's the old style of storytelling, but you're right. They're not works of literature. But most of these really aren't. It's entertaining stuff if you're looking for good comic book action, but anymore, I would actually rather pick up any Zenoscope book than 99% of Marvel, which just makes me sad on so many levels. But Zenoscope's doing comics right. I don't know anything about a lot of these mangas. My comic shop doesn't really carry a whole lot of manga. because the other retailers are doing it. Yeah, I've been trying to pare down my titles. It's not easy to do because I've been spending too much money on it, and I have to get a new car soon, so I gotta start squirreling money away. Moon Maid, I'm gonna pick up. These books are pretty good. It's American mythology, and they're doing this big push with Edgar Rice Burroughs titles, and I'm really excited about that. It could be really cool. And I've been liking a lot of their stuff. Yeah, Viking. Everybody almost has to order them at this point. Yeah, unfortunately, Oki, that's kind of the trend. Is everybody's going toward manga because it sells, and a lot of this new stuff just doesn't sell. It's just way too political. People are tired of it. They want escapism. I've heard good things about this Riptide, but Red 5's kind of hard to get. I might pick up the trade, but I probably won't this month rather. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff. Some of these one shots, especially Source Point, I'm not even bothering. This Van Helsing issue, I might pick up, but I'm not sure. It's another one of those titles that I'm not real super keen on. So spending $6 extra, really kind of a rough sell at this point, especially with DC raising their prices. Mango is a good flavor. It's true. I do love mango. They had that body armor drink, something like that. It's got mango flavor. It's really, really good. Why not just sell Japanese porn? I know, right? Witch Blood. It's another purple-haired weirdo book. I know it's green, but we call them purple-haired weirdos. So yeah, that's really it. There were less than 10 books I was going to pick up, but then I scroll. There's a reprint of the Daleks from the old Doctor Who magazines. And this is a collected edition from the strip that Terry Nation did. And it's all 104 installments, digitally restored from the mostly original artwork. New features about the writers, illustrators, and publishers. Now, they used to reprint some of these in the Doctor Who magazine when I was a kid, and that was like a specialty thing. So seeing this, I jumped on this and I ordered this because I want to read that. It's $20, which is pretty outrageously priced. I'm hoping it's at least in perfect binding, so it's got a spine instead of just a magazine. But that's well worth it to me because there wasn't much this week otherwise, and I'll get a small discount on this. I think he's going to give me 10% off. But I really wanted to read these for years because I'd read chapters of it here and there. And yeah, there's really no justification for blowing that kind of money on it, but I just wanted it. Hasn't anyone told the comic companies that getting new customers with quality entertainment or keeping the old ones is more profitable than raising prices on crap? No, nobody has told them. And they don't seem to care. They want that phantom audience. Come on, phone. They're still thinking that social justice just hasn't found them yet. And it's more important to get the religious messaging out than it is to draw in new customers. And they're doing nothing to attract young audiences. Every now and then somebody will release a kids line book, but there's no staying power. They're not trying to get it in new places. It's just more of the same trash. And it's all heavy-handed messaging. Yeah, the art style in these old Doctor Who things, they're really good. So this strip ran from 65 to 67. And I saw it reprinted in the 80s, I think, here and there. I never got to read an entire storyline. When Roombas attack, yeah, pretty much. They had to create these things for him because otherwise they couldn't get up the stairs. And that was a running joke for a long time. There was a classic cartoon of a Dalek at the bottom of a staircase and said something to the effect of, "Drats, our world conquest has been foiled." So, yeah, there's just not a lot otherwise this month. I don't even read the Doctor Who magazine because I don't care about social justice doctor here. I didn't really like Matt Smith that much. Peter Capaldi just got bad scripts. Yeah, okay, that makes too much sense. We don't do that here. This is the comics industry. Bringing in young kids is it's more of a general idea, guideline than a rule. And they ever since they started drifting away from like the 10 to 12 market, they've really gone down on sales, and not in a fun way. It's really, really sad how that has kind of played out. Oh, I'm sorry, baby doll. I missed your donation. Thank you. Happy late birthday. Have some Chinese food on me. Well, thank you. That's very generous of you. It's much appreciated. Sorry, the notifications don't go off on that anymore. So Daleks are about as effective as Joe Biden? Stairs. Why did it have to be stairs? Yeah, more or less. You're not wrong. But thanks, baby doll. I'm real sorry about that. Becca said, I found Alan Moore's From Hell in paperback for $28. Yeah, that's not a bad price. There's also a master edition for $2 more. Not sure which is better. Probably the master edition, actually. If it's only $30, it's probably a pretty decent price. I think new it's going for 40. Let's find out. From Hell, that's companion book. From Hell hardcovers 40. Here we go. 35 in trade. Master edition's $50. So if you can pick it up, that's not a bad price at all for 30. Well, let's get into some news. A lot kind of happened this week in comics. The big news being that Marvel has signed a deal with Penguin Random House, or as a guy I know called it, Random Penguin House, which would be an awesome name for a punk band. So they're going to switch over to Penguin as their main distributor, and Diamond is going to buy books from Penguin and then sell them to retailers. Yeah, I hope you like it, Becca. I like that book. I thought it was really well done. It's much better than the movie. So I talked to my comic shop guy briefly about this and had him explain exactly what's going on, so I didn't have to like get too invested in tracking down all the articles. And his understanding seemed to be that what Penguin is going to do is give you your own customer service rep and give you a better discount with free shipping. So, for example, if you buy high volume, you typically would get like 50% off. But with Penguin, you'll get 55 and free shipping. Now, if you order through Diamond, you're probably only going to get at best your old discount, which is the 50%, probably less. Hey, nobody, how you doing? Oh yeah, Viking. There's some really crazy stuff out there that you wouldn't think he would do. He did a run on Supreme as well. That was pretty interesting, actually. It was effectively Silver Age Superman. So Marvel's going to go through Penguin, and then Diamond is going to buy from Penguin, and then probably reduce the discount that you get and charge you shipping. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to go through Diamond to buy Marvel books anymore, unless you're in a weird area or something like that. Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling good, Becca. That sucks. So yeah, that's kind of the deal here. It seems like everybody seemed to think they were just going to do trades for some reason, But no, they're doing everything Marvel. All of the trade paperbacks, the graphic novels, the regular comics, everything. Except for the action figures and statues, which will still go through Diamond. And Tony Isabella is an idiot, by the way. Jim Shooter, I don't think, is a liar. He may have been a jerk, but I don't think he was a liar. And everybody hated him because he made Marvel profitable. So the fact that they're offering free shipping is really where the big push is going to be. Because the problem that Diamond has is when they ship stuff, they ship at UPS, and it's often really tossed around. They don't pack things very well to begin with, but stuff gets damaged all the time. And it pisses off comic shops to no end. They've been doing that for 20 years. Back when I had my shop, I'd get damages pretty rarely at my store, but even then, like the rare Chase issue, you had to order 25 books to get this one variant cover, and that was going to be your moneymaker to make back a lot of money. And that would be the one on top, and it'd be the damaged one. So that was always annoying. They did nothing to protect that stuff, and it was really irritating. My promo posters were better packed than the comics. Grew up in the church religious films budgeted knowing they had limited audience. These guys think it's Field of Dreams. If I write it, they will come. Yeah, that's exactly the problem. Oh yeah, that's a bummer, Ryan. So yeah, this deal is a big deal. That made a lot of sense as a sentence. This contract, this exclusivity thing is going to be a big deal because it might actually destroy Diamond. And it's going to be a huge problem for smaller publishers. So it might actually end up crippling Diamond. I don't think it will, but it'll come pretty close to it. And I think Diamond did this to themselves because when they stopped distributing because of the coronavirus for a couple months, that really hurt a lot of people. And it probably came close to destroying several publishers. A few of them probably were going to fold anyway, but you haven't seen anything solicited from Lion Forge or Oni in a while. Valiant's barely done anything. American Mythology seems to have held out okay. They're probably on razor-thin margins anyway. Black Mask is pretty crippled at this point. They barely do anything. So how they're going to handle it when Marvel leaves Diamond as well could be a real problem for them. So I don't know. I'm going to see how it goes, but I don't have a lot of faith they're going to pull this off without crippling somebody in the process. Unless Penguin screws it up real bad, which I don't think they will, because they already have a pretty good setup for distribution and probably already have more than enough contracts with UPS and FedEx that it won't be a problem. Oh, my science has been going nuts too, Becca. So that's that article. That's kind of the big one going around, but everybody just blathers on too much, and it drives me nuts. Robert Kirkman is rumored to buy DC Comics. Well, maybe. This is a rumor. This is coming from Cosmic Book, which they have a bit of a mixed track record for me. But DC has been apparently being shopped around to some big investor types, and Robert Kirkman may have been one of them, which wouldn't surprise me because that dude has more money than he can count right now. He's right up there with the guy from Game of Thrones, Fat Guy Martin, whatever his name is. And Robert Kirkman's got all that sweet Walking Dead money, and with some more movies being made for Rick Grimes, that money's probably not going anywhere anytime soon. So he's rumored to be looking at it, and Van Sciver's been saying this for a little while, but this seems to be the source of the rumor. I don't know how true it is. There's also rumor floating around that Steve Geppi, who used to run Diamond, and I think he's back doing that again, if he's actually rumored to be involved, there's a possibility that Steve Geppi could get it, and I could see him doing it because he used to actually run a comic company called Gladstone that did reboots of the Disney characters, and they were really good. They were really well done, nice quality paper, uh, classic stories. I think they had some new stories in those. I loved those books as a little kid, so those came out in the '80s, and I actually really liked them. Even as an adult, they're really well done stories. They're the old Carl Barks stuff like that. So I think it would be more interesting if Geppi got it, but if Robert Kirkman got it, it probably won't be too bad either. But we'd get a lot more really strung out storylines that take forever to get anywhere. So I don't know if Van Sciver's right about this or not, but I would tend to think that although Kirkman's got the money, that he probably would have enough to buy DC. He's not going to own any of the DC characters. He would just be buying the DC imprint and trademarks. He won't actually own any of the characters. He'd have to license those from AT&T. But he's got enough of his own books that he could go in and just put out reprints of Invincible or Oblivion's Song or whatever else Skybound comes up with, because he's got the Skybound imprint that goes through Image, and he's a major stakeholder in Image, so he's got connections in the industry. Steve Geppi's got the experience, though. If they were to team up, I could see that being effective, but as it is now, probably not. He would only have the copyrights to the DC logo and stuff like that. He wouldn't own Batman. He'd have to license Batman. So I don't know how well that would work out for him, and I don't know how heavy-handed AT&T would be with the licensing, but they would probably just get first dibs on any of the stories that were written and use those for IP mills, which would be one way to do it. But I don't know if I'd want to buy that without picking up any of the characters. Maybe if they took the Charleston characters with the sale, then it would be worthwhile, because then at least they'd have like some recognizable people like Blue Beetle, Captain Atom, characters like that, or even the Fawcett characters. Get the Marvel family out of it, because they don't even call Captain Marvel anymore, and they could let him duke it out with Marvel Comics. Yeah, Oki, that's the problem, is that having to license the characters really cuts into your budget, because licensing is ridiculously expensive. So I don't know how well that would work, but like I said, he's got some original characters, but I don't know if that'd be enough to sell under the DC banner and still make it profitable. He would have to have some of the DC characters. Yeah, I don't blame you, Becca. It's very complicated. When I went to a copyright attorney for an issue I had, oh man, that got expensive so fast, and it was so complicated. There's so many ins and outs. The difference between copyright and trademark is massive. That's why Conan isn't in the public domain fully. The character is, but you can't put Conan on the cover because someone owns the trademark for that. And that never really got sorted. Oops. Wrong thing. So Robert Kirkman buying DC could be interesting. I don't think it'll happen. I think more likely somebody like Steve Geppi will get it, or it'll be a consolidation of a couple people like Kirkman and Geppi together. I don't think McFarlane would do it. There's been rumor of his name floating around, but I don't think he's got as much money as Kirkman to toss around like this. And I think he's a little risk averse. Plus, with him launching the Spawn universe, I don't think he's really that interested in trying to open a whole new can of worms with the entire DCU. Yeah, exactly, Oki. You have to find a way to get new people in so you can sell enough issues to make it financially viable. And you have to retain that old audience too. And quite frankly, their best bet at this point is to take some old reprint books and try and get those in dollar stores. I really think that's going to be the wave of the future for a little while, is trying to find outlets with some of the more popular characters with successful books, like reprint storylines, and do it that way. Try and get new people in, but they have to get away from this boring SJW crap that they keep pooping out. Hey, Evolved. Yeah, Marvel's quickly becoming lazy anime. It's not even good. Yeah, copyright law is very, very tricky sometimes, and you can easily dance over the line and get yourself sued. As several people found out, there was a legal issue back in the 90s with Rob Liefeld and his Agent America book where he almost got sued by Marvel Comics because the character looked just like his version of Captain America with a slightly different uniform. And he managed to get a hold of the rights to Fighting American and settle everything. But he probably would have lost his ass in that one because it was very, very, very similar, especially because it was effectively the Captain America storyline continued from what he did at Marvel. Next up, we have the Justice Department worried about an anime monopoly because Sony's trying to buy Crunchyroll. Now, I don't know anything about anime, but everybody's talking about this. So it looks like there might be an antitrust suit if they try and push this through. So this deal may not go through. And Sony's been trying real hard to gobble up all these little studios, but I think it's probably a moot point since there are other platforms that distribute anime. But I can see why they're worried about this. They've been buying up a lot of stuff. Sony's plan to combine Crunchyroll and Funimation into a streaming service to lead its anime empire seems to be as simple as tossing AT&T $1 billion. But now the plan is reportedly concerning enough to the U.S. Department of Justice is extending its antitrust review of the $1.175 billion purchase into a full-on probe, according to sources we spoke with, who spoke to the information. So DOJ's looking at this saying, whoa, you got a lot of little studios here, buddy. Especially because Funimation and Crunchyroll are, reasonably big studios. So it could give them quite a lot of control. And Sony's international, so in a lot of markets it would be controlling. For instance, controlling both Funimation and Crunchyroll means one thing in the context of anime streaming services in the US, but taken with all the other things Crunchyroll does, like manga publishing and anime conventions, and the international anime companies Sony already purchased in Australia and France, the company would have a huge amount of control over the entire industry. And that's very true. If you live in anywhere in Oceania, really, you're going to have some really strict rules about what anime and mangas you can get. And I know Australia is passing some goofy laws about that now. Amazon's trying to do that here. But that could really be a huge censorship problem, the way that Sony's been changing things for Western audiences and censoring stuff. And that could be a real problem. You get some cheap mini comics into Dollar Tree, small kids stores to generate some capital. Yeah, okay. They used to do these True Believer reprints last year at Marvel, and they would reprint stuff from the 60s and some from the 70s and 80s even. And they were easily all ages because they had the comic code approval. They were $1 a piece. If they could get those in Dollar Tree and just use those as a loss leader, they would get more customers. Just reprint classic stuff like that. It would be a great thing to do. Or the old digest format where they used to reprint a couple things. It would have been great. Oh, Australia passing goofy laws? Never. I know, right? How are those M-rated games? So, yeah, I think this could be a problem for other countries more than the U.S., but the Justice Department is definitely going to poke around in this and see what's up. Because Sony is trying to make a monopoly out of it. They've made that very clear. They want to be the anime company. And if they can seize up all the manga and anime distribution stuff in the States, especially if they can control conventions too, that will section out a lot of people from that. So I'd be more concerned in places like Australia and Europe and pretty much anywhere in Southeast Asia than I would be over here in the States. But Canada, probably not going to be a huge deal for them or the US, but The other places, yeah, I think that could be a problem. Japan, not going to be an issue, but everybody else, going to be a problem. If we're lucky, new studios will rise out of that, though. Oh no, that makes too much sense, Viking. Can't do tie-ins with movies because logic would agree with that. All right, over here we have a Minnesota theater canceling Cinderella production, citing too many white cast members. This one kind of explains itself. So, Minnesota suburban theater canceled this production. Chanhassen Dinner Theaters announced on its website that the production of Cinderella was not aligned with its current diversity, equity, and inclusion goals. Instead of recasting the production to include more people of color, the theater opted to nix the production entirely. Yeah, that's problematic, huh? After careful consideration with our ongoing commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, Chanhassen Dinner Theaters has made the decision to cancel our upcoming production of Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Our hope in beginning the production process again with a new title will allow us to put into practice an intentional process based on the work we've been doing toward equity and inclusion. So this reads like a cult manifesto. In this statement, the theater announced that it will invite and pay for a Black, Indigenous, or person of color to analyze the makeup of the cast and how to make the show adequately anti-racist. That just means non-white. We believe this new process will allow us to tell the story in a rich way and allow us to live out our commitment to identity conscious casting and become a more intentionally anti-racist theater. And honestly, I think they just didn't like it because it's the Rodgers and Hammerstein's version of Cinderella, which means that these evil white guys did a no-no by following a European story. So they're probably going to find some obscure indigenous tale of the coyote or something and do a play based on that, which sounds even more racist when I say it out loud. So this is just more of the same crap we've been seeing. I thought it was interesting because it's Cinderella, which is a pretty milquetoast story. You could cast anybody in that role. It doesn't have to be Europeans. It could take place anywhere. You could set it in the States and change some dialogue and make it set in the Cree Nation, and it would still be an interesting story. Instead of a prince, you could have a brave. But no, they don't want to do that because they're probably going to get some purple hair weirdo in here to quote fix it and make it boring. Yeah, listen to Becca, guys. She knows what she's talking about. Oh, I'm sorry, Oki. I'm not paying attention to the Streamlabs. Thank you so much for the generous donation. Have 1/1000th of a car. Also, how is that crypto wallet for donations coming along? I got kind of sidetracked with all the stuff that's been going on in my personal life. But yeah, I've been doing the research on it. I'm going to open one probably through Coinbase. And I'll let you know when I do. I'll put the links or whatever in the description. But yeah, I am working on it. It's just taking a back burner, especially after Mom's stroke. So I'm going to have my hands full dealing with that for a while. So between her being in the hospital and my dad being really kind of on his own, he needs help, and I'm just way too busy being pulled in a lot of different directions. Did the Indians even wear shoes? Yeah, they had moccasins. Yeah, they could have a crystal moccasin. But thank you for the donation, Oki. I will apply that toward at least a new tire for the car I have. Because I have to pump up my tire every time I use it. All right, so let's get this hideous mess off the screen and look at this one. Black Adam. Pierce Brosnan is going to play Dr. Fate opposite Dwayne Johnson. Apparently, they're making Black Adam into a Justice Society story, which is pretty awesome. I haven't really been paying attention to the news around this one, but I'm kind of excited about this. Pierce Brosnan's a good actor. Been a fan of his since Remington Steele back in the day because I'm old. And of course, you'll remember him as James Bond from Goldeneye, or yeah, was it Goldeneye? I don't know. Maybe that was a video game. He was in some James Bond movies. I really liked The World Is Not Enough. I thought that one was his best film for Bond, but it's good to see him get in a superhero movie, and he'll be really good as Kent Nelson, the real Dr. Fate. The name is Fate, Dr. Fate. Yeah, I made that same joke before I even read the article. In the first superhero foray of his career, Pierce Brosnan's the role of Dr. Fate. I hate that word plum. That's stupid. It's a stupid word. Opposite Dwayne Johnson in the DC film. Bronson known for being one of only a handful of actors to inhabit the James Bond mantle, is the last key member of the roll call for production that will feature a big screen debut of the Justice Society, DC's precursor to the Justice League, that takes a familial and multi-generation approach to heroics. Already suited up is Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. It's another race swap. Good job. You're lazy. Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher, and Quintessa Swindle as Cyclone. Now, Cyclone was an interesting choice, so that could be pretty good. Hey, Colonel Sanders Bond. Black Adam is the fuck off with the video. Black Adam is the second New Line Cinema DC film following 2019's critically acclaimed hit Shazam, with two characters, Shazam and Black Adam, being arch rivals in the DCU. Project head toward an April production in Atlanta. Plot details are shrouded under a veil of secrecy as the character details for Marwan I can't pronounce that, is also in the cast. He's probably going to play the Weather Wizard. Bronson will play Kent Nelson, aka Dr. Fate, son of an archaeologist who taught sorcery skills and given the magic helmet of fate. The character, created by Gardner Fox and Howard Sherman, is one of the DC's oldest characters, appearing in 1940's More Fun Comics number 5. Well, I don't know how to pronounce this fucking name. This guy is set to direct. He directed Jungle Cruise, which looked like a kids movie. Hey, Buster. So I don't know about that. I didn't see Jungle Cruise. I don't even know if that ever came out, but it looked kind of silly. And it might be okay. I don't know. But if they aim this toward a younger audience, that would really be the way to go. You got to hit that teenage market. Either go PG or go R. That's really PG-13 is always crap, except The Ring. So there were some previous screenwriters. Hopefully these guys are pretty good. I would have liked Jeff Johns to have been involved because he knows the characters better. But the fact that Pierce Brosnan attached himself should be a pretty good sign. He's been in a lot of stuff, most of which has been pretty good. He's had a few bombs, but not that many. He's getting on in the years, though. I mean, you saw that picture down here, right? I mean, he looks like a lich here. But yeah, this could be really good news. So the other people are kind of nobodies, but Dwayne Johnson and Pierce Brosnan, that's got a lot of potential. So I'm excited about that. Could be really cool. And next up, sad news. Jessica Walter, award-winning actress from Arrested Development and Archer, has passed away at 80. Best known as Mallory Archer from the amazing cartoon. If you guys aren't watching Archer, you're really missing out. It's offensively fun. I'm not offended by it, but apparently normies are. But she's a really underrated actress, and it's a real loss to every version of acting because she's been in so much stuff. She did theater work. She did movies. She was in a lot of stuff. All the way back to Trapper John M.D. But really, she got noticed for Arrested Development in the last couple of decades, I think. She was in Ironside back in the 70s, but being on Archer is where I really know her from, and she was amazing on there. Yeah, I haven't actually seen the Coma season. evolved, but I've heard mixed reviews. I'm sure it'll be fine for me, but a lot of people didn't seem to like that one. But I am excited to go back and watch it at some point. But this is really sad. And in lieu of flowers, the family's asking for donations to Guiding Eyes for the Blind, which is really cool. But yeah, sad loss to the acting community and all of us viewers for the loss of Mrs. Archer. So rest in booze, Mallory. Next up, we've got a rehash here again. Disney to reimagine National Treasure as TV series to explore issues of identity, community, historical authorship, and patriotism. So National Treasure is going to be all about shitting on America. I give it 3 episodes before they talk about 1619. Sorry, I was reading chat. New report claims that Disney... This is from Abounding into Comics. They're pretty reliable. A new report claims that Disney, alongside producer Jerry Bruckheimer and writers Marianne and Cormac Wibberley, will be reimagining the National Treasure franchise. The report from Deadline claims the series will be directed by Mira Nye and will explore the timely issues of identity, community, historical authorship, patriotism, told from the point of view of Jess Morales. So it's going to be about how evil white people are. And historical authorship, that means that they're going to give credit to stuff that somebody did anonymously or whatever, and we traced back to them and say it to somebody else. That's usually how this works. Andriva describes Morales as a 20-year-old dreamer. Notice the spelling here. Who, with her diverse group of friends, sets off on an adventure of a lifetime to uncover her mysterious family history and recover lost treasure. Well, they had 3 Coma seasons. Holy crap, I missed a lot. I might be further behind than I thought. This is bad, a Party of 5 remake. Oh, I think it's going to be worse. It's going to be much worse. Especially because it's a 20-year-old dreamer, so she's not even a citizen. The Deadline reporter adds that Jesse Morales is taking the torch from Benjamin Gates, protagonist played by Nicolas Cage. So they're just ditching the evil white dude for a diversity hire. And her diverse group of friends will just be a bunch of non-white people. That's all that means. So it'll be shit. Yeah, pretty much dangerous. Yep. You always got to wait for the other shoe to drop. Well, Andriva notes Morales is taking the torch from Gates. She also claims that the next film, the National Treasure franchise, is still being made. The development of the National Treasure series has been on parallel tracks with the long-gestating trequel, just say sequel, you idiot, to John Turteltaub's movie franchise starring Cage, which brought in Chris Bremer as writer in January 2020. I don't care about these movies to begin with. I thought they were mediocre adventure films that middled a little too much on nonsense stuff. It could have been really cool if they were rated R and a little bit more daring and bloody, but hey, what do I know? First one made 173 million, so clearly I have no idea what's going on. And 331 million worldwide with an estimated 100 million production budget. The sequel brought in 219 million for a much weaker movie at the domestic box office and went on to earn 457 million worldwide. That's a lot of money for mediocre films. As for the new show, if you think there are media corporations that are not pushing an agenda, this report will quickly correct you of that. The show's main protagonist is a legal immigrant, and the main focus is going to be about identity. We're all citizens in our hearts. This just reeks of wokeness and propaganda, which is what Hollywood is. Gone are the days of entertaining films like Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Die Hard, Con Air was horrible cheese. Although he did play white trash, so it's a standard Nicolas Cage movie. And even the first National Treasure, it's actually hard to imagine a world where the first one was even made back in 2004. Now it's all about whacking you over the head with radical left-wing political agenda in an attempt to indoctrinate as many people as possible. I totally agree. And it's going to be on Disney Plus, so thankfully I won't have to watch it because I'm not subscribed. This is going to be hot garbage. It's going to be so heavy-handed with the political stuff, and they're going to have like some token white guy who's either a bad guy, a bully, or the incompetent idiot. Maybe a combination thereof. And of course, Little Miss Diversity Hire is going to be the Mary Sue, and she's going to be the Michael Burnham and run around and do everything amazing. It's going to be awful. Con Air is meant to be horrible cheese. Pop up. Damn it. I'll restart my computer when I want. Shut up. Con Air is meant to be horrible cheese. That's what makes it funny. It's tongue-in-cheek awesomeness. It is. It's intended to be silly, over the top, and that's why it works. That Nicolas Cage, when he plays white trash, those are his best roles. Raising Arizona, Con Air, that other one I can never remember. I think it's Leaving Las Vegas. Those are all well done Nick Cage movies. Even Ghost Rider, I liked the way Ghost Rider looked. The first one, the second one was total trash. But he's easily replaced in every movie he's in. With the exception of Adaptation, that was his only good movie. Hazmat, they hate this country because they want to rewrite it. They want to make it their own thing, and it's very popular for some reason. The young people are taught to hate everything about the country by their own schools. So why wouldn't they? I don't know what to tell you on that one. Yeah, probably, Buster. I'm not reading that out loud, but you're probably not wrong. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. This actually annoyed me more than anything else that I looked at. It just made me angry. The Marvel news is probably the biggest news for comics, but in general pop culture, the National Treasure thing is setting about ruining a franchise and hitting you over the head with more PC crap. Yeah, they really do want to control everything. So yeah, that's really all the articles I had. Wasn't a whole lot to talk about this week overall, but the main stuff, is a little bit of big news in a way with a lot of the articles, but not a lot on the actual comics front, just Marvel ditching Diamond. So I guess I'm being a little contradictory there. Not a lot of comic book news, but a lot of news in other areas. So the Dr. Fate news is probably the best news, with the National Treasure news being the worst. But I'm looking forward to that Black Adam movie. That could be really, really good, and hopefully it will be. I just watched that new Jumanji movie the other day. Not the latest one, but the Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, I think it's called. And that was pretty good. I like The Rock, but I think Karen Gillian really carried that movie. So we'll do a couple minutes for questions if you guys have any, then I'll wrap it up. That's really about all I had. Thought it'd go a little longer, but there wasn't a lot of comics coming out. I did read, somebody had asked me on Twitter to review Strongbox, the Big Bad Book of Boone. So I got the first 6 issues of that. And I read the first one, and it was surprisingly pretty good. I'll have the review up in a couple days, probably. I didn't think I'd like it, but it's actually a little bit more fun than I expected. It looks like a really weird book. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, Viking. I didn't have high expectations, but it was a surprisingly fun movie. I've really grown to dislike Jack Black. I don't think he's as funny as he thinks he is, and he just plays the same character all the time, like Will Ferrell does. It gets old real fast because it's tiresome. Zach Galifianakis is like that too. He just sort of plays one character in everything, and it gets old really, really quick. Any gaming news? I didn't see much. Nothing really worth talking about. I'm still waiting on Candlekeep Mysteries to come out. That's the handicap accessible module from D&D. It's going to be terrible, but I'm probably going to pick it up and then give it to somebody. a couple of my friends play D&D, and they're a little more social justice, so I'll probably give it to one of them. They'll love it. Geodude, yeah. The live action Detective Pikachu was really good. They did the digital effects really well. I thought that was a surprisingly fun movie. Yeah, Kevin Hart's another one of those guys, not real versatile, but for some reason the personalities worked in Jumanji, but I get tired of all those guys real quick. I had that same problem with the not Will Smith guy in the Bad Boys movies. Martin, whatever his name is. That dude's just annoying. If you board MST3K is on Twitch TV under MST3K. Oh, cool. How much would a could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? 5 tons. Handicap accessible D&D. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I talked about this a few weeks ago. Let me see if I still have the article saved, because that was a thing that happened in real life. Give me 1 second to see if I still have this. I may have deleted it. But anyway, they're doing a handicap accessible dungeon. Oh, yep, here it is. Next adventure's wheelchair accessible. Let me get back to where I can present this. I'm talking to myself, and you all have to listen. Yeah, this is one of my favorite stories of the year because it's so stupid. Yeah, Candlekeep Adventures has 17 adventures from 19 designers, and they will be at least one of them is going to be wheelchair accessible. Rather than a single campaign, it's just short adventures or one-offs. So typical playtime 2 to 4 hours, longer if you're having fun and playing the game right. So yeah, they're really going woke over at D&D. A bunch of people I don't care about are involved. Where's it? Yeah, this is not something that's new to tabletop gaming or new to D&D, but it's important to make accessibility part of my dungeons, this idiot said. As an ambulatory wheelchair user, I wanted people to have the opportunity to see themselves represented in game. So what, you're going to play a cripple in a dungeon attacked by orcs? You're going to die, dude. I'm sorry. The whole point is to be somebody else. I don't know any orcs in real life. I don't know any tieflings or elves or anything else. Yeah, exactly, Dangerous. Kind of sounds stupid. Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised he hasn't already done it, Buster, because I talked about this a few times, and it's irritated me every single time. So yeah, they're making handicap accessible dungeons, and they're also going to change orc abilities. They're going to get rid of the racial abilities because for some reason dumb people are equating them with black people, which is super racist. But there was another company that made minis of various characters in wheelchairs. There's a dwarf, an elf. I think it's an elf sorcerer. And I don't know how you're supposed to do that. That makes zero sense to me. But that's a real thing that exists out in the world. And that book comes out, I think, next month. So I'll probably review it on Roll for Sandy, which I should have a new video out tomorrow. Over there, anyway, I'm going to do Monopoly Fortnite. Why would I remember back in the day the ads and comics as a kid in a wheelchair at the table playing? It's the whole point of being someone else. Yes, exactly, Viking. Exactly. You could be anything you wanted to be. Why would you want to be the same person you are at home? That's boring. If I want to be a fat loser, I could do that in real life every day. Instead, I could be a paladin. I could be a cleric on a holy quest looking for some lost relic to recover from my order. something interesting. Or if you play basic Redbox, you could be an elf, and that's your whole job, being an elf. What do? I do elf stuff. Oh, well, like, do you have a job? Yeah, I'm an elf. I get +1 with short swords and bows. It's a pretty easy life. Pretty spectacular. Instead, these people, the most they can think to be is themselves in a filthy dungeon that has to be a American with Disabilities compliant. It's pathetic. Oh, check my money hole. Oh, thank you, Becca, for the generous donation. Thank you for the advice on From Hell. I'm actually learning some stuff from your streams and video reviews. Much appreciated, Jack. No, thank you. And thank you very much for the donation. That's very kind of you. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. I never thought any of my channels would get views, quite frankly. But yeah, I appreciate the kind words. And anytime you want to ask about comics, I'll be glad to give my opinion. I don't necessarily, everyone doesn't agree with me, I should say. So I don't always have the best take, but opinions are free. And I really like to give my opinion because I'm one of those people. Yeah, you absolutely. How can you play a thief who's in a wheelchair? How do you search for traps? Do you just do that from the waist up? Because you're in a chair. What, they flop out like a fish trying to find some press plate traps? How does that even work? That's so dumb. Tiefling monk, yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. There were actually people that said that, Dangerous. I'm gonna have some new laundry videos up soon. I've finally got some edited, and I want to get a couple more filmed before I can release them. So I have at least a couple months worth of videos to release. So I'm a little over halfway there. I have to go do laundry sometime this week, so I'll probably film them then. Yeah, how are you gonna pickpocket anything? I would just make it stick traps. So as they're rolling along, a dart shoots out of the wall and flips their wheelchair over and destroys the wheel because it's going to be made of wood. It's kind of dumb. It's really stupid. We used to come up with fantasy flashlights, which is just take a map case and somebody would cast the light spell on a coin and put it in the bottom of there and use a glue spell to glue it down. Usually took a wizard and a priest, and then you had a flashlight. It's fucking great. Saved yourself a lot of trouble. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. That stuff's all gone out the window now with the crybabies and the purple hairs running everything. Loving playing Far Cry Primal while listening. Nice. Yeah, rip some faces off. No, flashlight, Hazmat. Flashlight. The worst enemies is stairs. Yeah, absolutely. I would have nothing but. Oh, yeah, you can play a character in a wheelchair. You get in the dungeon, the ramp falls apart. It's all staircases from then on. Idiots. I'd let you play whatever character you wanted for at least 5 minutes, and then I'd kill it because that's nonsense and annoying. We had a couple of proto social justice types in one of my old gaming group, and I got them all to go away because they were annoying, and everybody hated them, but nobody would uninvite them. So I took it upon myself to take care of that. Wheelchairs and water don't mix. Yeah, good luck with that swimming skill. Getting away from something, fleeing. No, that wheelchair is going to turn into a cart for the barbarians' loot. So yeah, that's just so dumb. But yeah, not a lot of good comics coming out next week. News was overall kind of a mixed bag. I am excited about Dr. Fate, like I said, but really not much going on otherwise. Yeah, I guess you could try that, Oki. That might not be a bad idea. Evil Smurf from last night was Nightmare Fuel. Yeah, those are the people that are running Dungeons and Dragons, it seems like. So they're running it right into the ground. Their sales are down. Even though 5th edition's been real popular, every time they have a controversy, it seems to hurt their sales. Started with, I think it was Castle Strahd, where they added what was it, transgender character or gay character or something stupid like that, which is a controversy. Nobody cared. Nobody even noticed. And then they slowly started trying to play up those elements, probably to try and boost sales, and it just backfired on them horribly. So the Strahd book was okay. I didn't have a problem with that one. But this Candle Keep adventure thing looks absolutely freaking stupid. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna flip through it and read it. I'm gonna get it at a discount, so I'm not real worried about that. I'll get it for half off. But it's gonna be garbage, and you can tell by the way they wrote it. They're more impressed with their cleverness at adding ramps for wheelchair-bound people than they are with the actual dungeon design. In the old days, Grimtooth Traps took the cake on that of making traps. So these people know nothing about dungeon design, clearly. I question whether even some of them have played the game from what I've seen of their work. It's gone real downhill lately, and it's really sad to see, too. I haven't played in ages, but it's a real shame that they're doing this to D&D, making it political. That's a terrible idea. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're not wrong, nobody. Yeah, body positive people are going to argue that they should have more strength or something. I don't know. It's really dumb. Oh, buckle in, Oki. If you're tired of the 40K people, Magic people are starting to come back to comic shops. Comic shops just can't make it on their own anymore. They've got all the Funko stuff, and some of the Funko people I've seen are real weirdos. Those dolls creep me out to begin with, but some of the collectors of that stuff, like the diehards, super diehards, they're kind of weird. The way worse than the anime people. No offense, anime people, but you guys got some weirdos in your ranks. True, Dangerous. True. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here, I think. But thank you all for coming out and chatting and listening to me bitch about comics. I'm looking forward to this Black Adam movie. I really hope they start filming soon. It's been delayed too many times now. Oh, and I heard Black Widow is going to go to Disney Plus for like $30 the same day it goes out in the theaters. So get ready for that to be a complete cluster. You know what, Ryan? I would rather be seen buying a My Little Pony doll than buying some of the Funko Pops. I have a forced collection. Oh, that's messed up. Sorry to hear that, Becca. I think those things are creepy. They're like Elf on a Shelf, you know. I don't want something that has bug eyes staring at me all day. Kind of weirds me out. Although I did see that the second wave of Masters of the Universe figures is out, and I have to go get a Panther. So I've been hitting the toy aisle every time, but they keep selling out before I get there. So I got to get there earlier in the day. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks, guys. Probably dangerous. But thanks for coming out. I do appreciate it. And thank you all for the donations. You guys have a wonderful day. And I will probably see you on Monkey in the Morning later on. But until then, you guys take care. And we'll do this again next week. Bye.